have the ability to bring in Rebecca with the question is the people that are fishing, just kind of go over it once more, that people that are in the area around the Kenai Peninsula.
Hey everybody, what's up? Oh my God.
Breaking news situation
Tsunami.
of a major earthquake off the coast of Alaska that is causing some tsunami warnings in the area along that coastline up there. As we are following it, you can see the USGS earthquake saying a notable quake, preliminary info saying it's above 7.3, just about 87 kilometers south of Sand Point, Alaska. And this is distributing new potentially tsunami warnings to the area there in Alaska, off the peninsula of Alaska. So we're following it very closely as it happened here this Wednesday afternoon. As you can see, the tsunami alert saying a tsunami warning posted for portions of Alaska following that earthquake 50 miles south of Sand Point, Alaska at 12:30 this afternoon. And we do have this live vantage point right here on Live Now from Fox of Sitka, Alaska, courtesy of our EarthCam partners, which is just a little bit down the coast, not necessarily in the vicinity for this tsunami warning, but you can see some of those large cruise ships in the distance, potentially some off the coast there that will have to be aware of what's going on, as the U.S. Geological Survey recorded the earthquake off Sand Point, which is located at the center of the Alaska Peninsula, just about 12:30. The National Oceanic and Atmospheric Administration issued a tsunami warning for the majority of Alaska's peninsula, spanning up into the southernmost part of Alaska's mainland toward Anchorage. A major earthquake capable of causing, quote, serious damage is considered having a magnitude above 7. Only about 10 to 15 earthquakes of this caliber are reported each year, so not necessarily rare, but unusual. Let's take you right now out to our Fox weather team, as they're also tracking this here on Live Now from Fox.
We know right now, so this just happened, I guess that would be what, 29 minutes, the tsunami warning goes out. The epicenter, it appears, was south of the Aleutians. You've got Kodiak, which you don't get the scope of this when you're looking at the map of Alaska. I lived in Kodiak for a summer. That was back in 2007. Kodiak is the size of Maine, and it only has the village, which I believe is short of 3,000 people. There was Homer, as we mentioned, and then down the Aleutians. So we'll have to see, we've been through this, what kind of earthquake this was, how we saw some of the plates move and the seabed, and whether or not this produces a tsunami. We'll work to get more information on that from the Tsunami Warning Center as it comes in. That's just playing.
All right, just listening in to our Fox weather team as they're discussing this. Again, a live look courtesy of our EarthCam partners at Sitka, Alaska, really between Anchorage and Seattle, if you're kind of familiar with this. So this is not in the area where they're concerned about that tsunami warning, but right there off the coast. You can imagine concern as this major earthquake was reported. USGS, again, on social media, initial preliminary information, 7.3, some 50 miles south of Sand Point, if you're familiar, kind of off that peninsula there in Alaska. So this is considered a major earthquake and potential for tsunami implications right there along the coast. And it's kind of difficult to understand how big, how long that peninsula is off the coast there in Alaska. So we're following it closely. We'll see if we have any updates. We'll keep an eye on all of these cameras here as soon as they pop up. But we're going to follow that very closely here on Live Now from Fox. All right, let's just shift gears here back to...
So yeah, what's up everybody? Welcome. They've been talking about this earthquake that happened, 7.3, and now they're saying tsunami warning. And oh my, I was about to step out, but of course, you know, I heard this and I saw people were talking about it. I figured we'd come out for a bit and see what's going on. I was tagged on Twitter too, and somebody said that the water was receding. Let's see, I think it was Lynn. Alaska water recedes. Here we go. Breaking, water is now receding. Let's take a look at this real quick. Try to get caught up on all the updates. Water is receding along the Alaskan coast following a 7.3 earthquake. A clear sign of a tsunami is approaching. Residents of Sandpoint, Alaska have been ordered to evacuate immediately. Let's take a look. Oh. Do not wait. Do not return. Wow.
Ongoing. We do still have a tsunami advisory in place because of the threat from that tsunami, which has been generated. But fortunately, the good news is they're not expecting a large inundating wave. It is the coastal areas, the local coastline, the harbors, the beach there into the bays that you need to be prepared for impacts. That could be anything from waves coming in, smaller waves, but very unusual and erratic waves, to quick current changes. And that's why we stress it is so important to stay off from the beach, because you cannot really anticipate what that water is going to do when it hits the coastline. We've seen in the past that people have wanted to go down and just look at it and see what it's like, what it's all about, and then they run into danger very quickly. So don't.
Here's video too of that shoreline. Got to get it for the gram. But rip-a-tippy-pong. Dave Beach, realtor, Kodiak, Alaska. Want to be careful out there though, man.
Back to normal operations.
Let's do one quick look again at some of the recommended actions for when there is a tsunami advisory. Again, it has been downgraded. The original was a tsunami warning, which is get to higher ground, get away, get into multi-story buildings. You know, that's a risk of life and property. This is, you want to move off the water, get off the beach and away from the coast. You still have the possibility of those waves, multiple waves. They will be unusual for your area, and there could possibly be unusual currents, things that you don't expect. So you want to be extra cautious if you are near the water at this time. You want to move away from the water. And you want to, again, move inland or uphill. If you are on a boat and you can move out to sea, you want to go to a depth of at least 180 feet. This gives the boat time to adjust to the possibility of the waves. And then if you are at sea, please avoid entering shallow water or harbors, marinas, bays, and inlets. You want to stay at sea until the danger has passed.
And we did hear from the Coast Guard in Homer. They're telling us that they did evacuate the Coast Guard station on Kodiak. They're working to notify vessels that are in the water in that region. So they are working there in Kodiak to make sure that the harbor is safe. Again, they have evacuated the Coast Guard station there.
Another weather event. What's going on? They said we have all these flooding warnings, once in a lifetime weather changes that are all occurring, and now we have this tsunami advisory because of the 7.3 earthquake. Oh. Let's see. Weather cams. Oh, they have weather cams. You can search. Okay. Check it out, Alaska.
If you need assistance, to contact the local emergency services and they will get you help if you need it. Again, if you are unsure where you are, contact your local authorities there if you do need help. So again, this is just an ongoing situation. This is the tough spot where we are in a waiting game, and it's so hard because we've been through this many times with tsunami warnings and advisories in Alaska.
Thanks,
and it is a very
Layla.
Urgent and serious situation, and then we just have to wait. So we know that those waves have been generated. We do have the good news that the warning has been expired. This is a look at the, we do want to pull up what the aftershocks have been like. Again, we are continuing to see a number of aftershocks in the area. Magnitude 7.3 was the initial quake. 1237 is when that happened, 12 miles deep. But the reason we are waiting is because we know a tsunami's been generated. We know how large it is. They're tracking that information, but this just takes time to unfold, and they're not going to give the all clear until we know. And the tough thing is, some of you will have evacuated. It will have completely changed your Wednesday plans, and then now all of a sudden you're doing something completely different, and then you go, wait, There was never a tsunami in my town. Why did I go through all of this hassle? Well, it takes some time for us to see where these waves are headed. So that's why we prepare for the worst, hope for the best in this situation. There is a tsunami. Again, that is not a question at this point. There is a tsunami. A series of waves has been generated because of the size and location of this earthquake. But again, it is not large enough that we're expecting widespread extreme inundations. So that's why it was downgraded, but the threat does still exist. That has not changed.
Right, we want to keep people alert and aware. In particular, Dave Schneider with the Tsunami Warning Center said in particular, this is a situation that coastal areas, beaches, harbors, inlets, this is where you want to stay away from the water because of those waves. We don't have specific specific heights yet, but we do know that they did receive buoy data that indicated that there are unusual waves in this area and that this could continue for about 24 hours. So you'll want to stay on alert, particularly if you're on the water. And of course, these are, in many cases, fishing communities. There are a lot of people with boats. There are a lot of people that are probably out on their boats at this time. So just please, everyone, be extra cautious. We're continuing to update and continuing to check the latest on the advisory.
And we just got this new information in a few minutes ago on the tsunami advisory still in effect for communities of Sand Point, Cold Bay, and Kodiak. They are still watching this information. So again, this has not been expired or canceled. It is still in place. This is specifically for those communities that we keep mentioning, Sand Point, Cold Bay, Alaska, within that tsunami warning zone or tsunami advisory zone at this place. So those places you need to move out of water, off the beach, stay away from harbors, marinas, the breakwaters, bays, and inlets. And just really important that you're alert in these areas. So I am waiting specifically for observations. They will tell us when they get them, observations of how high these waves are when they reach the coastline. We do not have that information yet. So stand by with us, but we do know it's confirmed. It was a magnitude 7.3 earthquake that was 12 miles deep that is responsible for generating this tsunami.
And we're also working on some information about the number of aftershocks that we have been seeing in the area, because there have been a number that, like one just recently at about 210, 5.2. That's according to the USGS. And Alaskans, we've experienced these, but 5.2 is quite strong. I'm going to switch over so I can, Melissa's wanting me to get a map up. I apologize, but I have to switch over to a different computer to do that. And
so again, the largest aftershock we've seen so far is a magnitude 5.2. That happened here just in about the past 20 minutes. So we are still feeling that shaking. The tsunami can often oversee the impacts of the earthquake itself. For those communities that are still feeling the shaking, the normal earthquake procedure and plan is what you want to follow. Again, you stop, you drop, you cover, and you hold on, and you wait for that shaking to stop. That is really important, and it is tough when you have aftershocks like this and the shaking that just feels like it's non-stop. People want to evacuate, they want to run, they want to get out of their structure.
I'll be gone. I'm staying still.
Do not see very many impacts from any problems with the structure itself. That is a myth, a common misconception that your structure is at risk of collapsing. Here in Alaska, fortunately, most of our structures are pretty strong and are built for this. So really what you need to do is just to drop, cover, and hold on. If you have a table, something sturdy to get under where you are near, that is what you need to do. But when we see people running out the door, that is when you're at risk of having injuries, whether from something falling, from you tripping or falling into something. So it's a scary situation, and we have that fight or flight response that kicks in. But just stop, cover, hold on, wait for that shaking to stop. It will stop, even though it feels like an eternity. Generally, the shaking actually does stop pretty quickly. So do just continue to remember what you practice all the time in Alaska when it comes to earthquake safety. Get to a safe place and wait. The good news is we're not expecting any sort of widespread inundation, so there's no risk that you need to get out of your home, as long as you're not right there on the coast. If you're in a cabin or something on the beach, right on the coastline, then yeah, get to higher ground. But everyone else in town will continue to be just fine where you are. So focus on being safe from those earthquakes. And those of you along the coastline and the harbors, that's where you need to be focused on being safe from the tsunami advisory and those tsunami waves. So 2 different situations happening at the same time. We know those tsunami waves, of course, they're generated because of the earthquake. We have had some questions here. Is there a threat of the aftershocks causing an additional tsunami threat? Generally, not likely. I'm not going to say it's not possible. Really, it doesn't matter if it's an aftershock, a foreshock, or the main shock. What matters is the size and the location of the earthquake. So should there be an aftershock that is another magnitude 7.0 or greater earthquake in the right spot, yes, certainly that can happen, and that can create tsunami waves. That is not what we're seeing happening right now. All of these aftershocks are small enough that we are not concerned for additional tsunami waves to be created. We do have the map up now for you of the aftershocks that have occurred. Everything there in red shows you the most recent. You can see the largest one in orange. That is the magnitude 7.3, but the most recent aftershock that is notable is the magnitude 5.2. That was 97 kilometers, about 50 miles southeast of Sand Point. You are likely still feeling some shaking from that in those communities. So again, continue to monitor local conditions where you are. Stay off the beach, and we are monitoring the situation very closely to see how conditions are going. So again, a tsunami advisory is still in effect, but we are not expecting that big widespread inundating wave water to extend into the communities. So that is a good thing. Again, we do still have that tsunami advisory in effect, but no other larger earthquakes beyond the magnitude 5.2. There was just a second magnitude 5.2 aftershock that has come in. So these are coming in rapidly, and they will continue to do so until the ground stops shaking, which aftershocks from an earthquake this large will continue for months. We saw that with the 7.1 that we had in Anchorage back in 2018. Those aftershocks can continue for months. I do want to show you a breakdown of the aftershocks that we have seen so far. Again, we are just under 2 hours from that initial magnitude 7.3 quake. We have now seen 4 magnitude 3.0 to 3.9 aftershocks. We've seen 5 4.0 to 4.9 and 1 that have been larger than 5.0. We have not seen any magnitude 6.0 or larger, but again, this is an evolving situation. And what happens is seismologists with the Alaska Earthquake Center, they will monitor and review each one of those aftershocks to determine its precise location, how it is connected to the main shock, and the impacts there. We have a large subduction zone that is right on the edge of our coast, and as that North American plate, the Pacific plate goes underneath the North American plate, that is where we get that friction. And so this is a common situation. Seismologists with the Alaska Earthquake Center will tell you, yep, this is pretty standard for what we would expect here in Alaska. This is not unusual. This is right where they would expect those earthquakes to be. This is a size that we do expect them to be at. So that part's not unusual. It doesn't mean that the threat from them or the impacts change any further. So again, we see hundreds of earthquakes every day in Alaska. Obviously, we don't see magnitude 7.0 or larger quakes every day in Alaska, but they're certainly not uncommon for us. And that's why we do the preparations that we do. That's why we practice these drills. Now is the time to respond to them.
And there were, just a couple of years ago, we did have a series of very strong earthquakes in this same area.
Yes.
As I said earlier, I do have friends that live in Sand Point, and so I remember quite distinctly when they were going through the series, there was another 7+ earthquake in that area. So this does happen. Does it make it any easier? Does it make it any more comfortable? It's concerning, and it is.
Yeah, if you guys could up out with the like button.
It's just hard to live through, as we all know. So we do see those aftershocks coming through, and very likely with an earthquake like this, you will see aftershocks continuing through the area for
Hours.
months, if
For
not
months?
the next
What?
year. When you see these strong, those will be
Hell no.
evaluated to see if they are considered aftershocks of that earthquake, as we're seeing here. So we do original earthquake 7.3. That was at 12:37 this morning, and since then we have been seeing these aftershocks. That most recent one is that 5.2 that happened at about 2:10 this afternoon. So we do want to let everybody know that while it has been downgraded from a tsunami warning to a tsunami advisory, the danger has not passed. We are still considered to be under this advisory. The buoys have measured an actual tsunami. We don't know the specific height of it at this point. We're continuing to see, to get more information about that. But so far, we are continuing to just monitor the situation, and we will hopefully get some more information here from the Tsunami Warning Center, and also just kind of keeping everybody up to date on what's going on, as it has been downgraded to an advisory. But we've spoken before that we are not completely out of the danger zone.
Just about 5 seconds here.
Yes.
We're going to join our broadcast audience, so stay with us here. Welcome here from Alaska's news source. We are following a tsunami advisory here. You may have been with us through our streaming channels online, but want to let you know the latest information. There is still tsunami advisory in effect. This is still in effect from northeast of Unalaska through Kodiak. Those communities need to stay off the beach, away from the harbor, off that immediate coastline. But as we reported earlier, the tsunami warning has been downgraded. So that means there is still a threat, but it is not as serious as it was about 30 minutes ago. So improving conditions.
Right, we don't expect tsunami and seawater to inundate the towns and to go much beyond the harbors, but beaches, harbors, anywhere near the ocean still at risk, in particular because, as we've been talking about a lot this afternoon, is that a tsunami is not a single wave.
Right.
We have this image that we often see about the size of a tsunami, but it's a series of waves that come through, and it also creates, it just messes with the water in your area. So currents where you're not expecting them, and people that are really familiar with the water think, oh, I know this area. You might be in an area that now is being impacted by the tsunami. So that's why we want to be extra cautious, because in particular where we're talking about, we're looking at areas in Southwest Alaska, and these are in majority fishing communities, a lot of people with boats in these areas. So we want to be really cautious while we're under this advisory.
Yeah, so again, if you're in the beach, the immediate coastline, that is where you need to move to higher ground. If you're in town, you are safe where you are. Again, if you're not along that immediate coastline, for these areas that are highlighted in orange on this map, closer to the epicenter of that magnitude 7.3 earthquake. But with that said, you're still feeling the shaking. The aftershocks continue. We just saw a magnitude 5.0 earthquake that happened just in about the past 25 minutes. We're updating this information live and in real time, but you can see the list of aftershocks there now, 2 that have been larger than a magnitude 5.0. So it is really important that you're still safe from the earthquakes themselves. Still continue to drop, to cover, and to hold on. Make sure that you're safe from that shaking, while at the same time make sure that you're off the beaches.
There is some breaking news, though. Maybe the most important news you've heard in days or weeks. No, it's not the Epstein stuff. The White House page tweeted out, I've been speaking to Coca-Cola about using real cane sugar and Coke in the United States, and they have agreed to do so. I'd like to thank all of those in authority at Coca-Cola. This will be a very good move by them. You'll see it's just better. Well, probably. I'm not a big soda person at all. Maddie's into soda, but I'm not really. I'm trying, you know what I'm saying? I'm trying to shed weight. I have one drink and then boom, I blow up. I can't eat anything. I just blow up. So, big news. Big news. Coca-Cola. I know there are people concerned about that. The sugar. It's going to be cane sugar. I might come back on later this evening too to talk. There's so much like craziness that I've seen going on with this whole Epstein thing that and I've been bookmarking it. We might have to come on later and talk about it. Maybe later. We'll see. We'll see.
Where is it? It's unlikely at this point to see another magnitude 7.0 or greater, but it's possible. There could be a completely separate event that's not even related to this that could create a tsunami. That can happen at any time in Alaska. So these magnitude 4 and 5 aftershocks, though, they're not large enough to create a tsunami. So as you can see on this map here, all of these little points, these red and orange dots, these are aftershocks that have now happened since that main shock there, but these are not large enough that they would create a tsunami concern. So good news there. Don't worry about that right now.
Right, and as you look at that map, it is those areas that are in red, those are the most recent aftershocks, and the size of the dot indicates how big it is. So there is that big initial earthquake that was at 12:37 this afternoon, and since then
I haven't tried Coca-Cola with cane sugar. I'm kind of curious. Is it really that good?
That have moved through the area, and we are getting reports that people are they're still feeling the.
I just showed video, Bloomy. Thank you. I showed video a little bit ago.
Living through the 7.2 earthquake here in Anchorage, I think 6 years ago now. It was terrifying, and so. I know that then when you feel the aftershocks, you think we're going to experience another earthquake that size. It's very difficult. So hopefully we can give you a little comfort that it looks like the tsunami danger has been lowered. And so we are looking at still a possibility, but mainly we're dealing with things that are along the coastline.
And we do have an aftershock forecast now. So this is based on historical data of earthquakes of this size in this location. There's only a 7% chance that we would see a magnitude 7.0 or larger aftershock from this earthquake. That is a low chance, but there is a chance, and that is within the next week. There is still a 41% chance.
That would be a big announcement. Put the Coke back in Coca-Cola. That would be something. Okay, we're talking now. Something big, major. Maybe you want to get people away from the Epstein stuff. Put the Coke back, or at least announce it and don't do it. Put the Coke back in the Coca-Cola.
Chance that we will continue to see magnitude 4.0 and larger aftershocks continuing over the next week. Those are large enough to feel. So unfortunately for those of you that felt the big one, the 7.3, you're likely going to continue, especially closer to Sandpoint and Cold Bay. You're going to continue to feel the shaking, and gosh, that is unnerving after you've gone through a magnitude 7.3. You don't want to feel any shaking at that point. You want that ground to be stable. So just remember what you've practiced. You do practice this all the time. We'll pull up that forecast for you again of what the anticipation is, just so that you're not caught off guard and you are anticipating these aftershocks. You drop, you cover, and you hold on no matter the size of the shaking. Do not wait to determine, is this big enough to respond to? Just respond at this point. Then you don't have to worry about whether you are safe or not. So two different concerns at the same time. One is from the shaking and the injuries that can happen from earthquakes, and the other is from the tsunami threat. Good news is the tsunami threat is only for the coastline, for those harbors, and for the beach. That's the area you need to stay away from. Again, the Kenai Peninsula, Anchorage is not under any threat from this. So no concerns there. If you're fishing the Kenai, if you're down in Soldotna, out on the water, no problem. Keep doing what you're doing. But if you're in Sandpoint, Cold Bay, Kodiak, that's where you need to get out of the water. If you have a boat in the water, that needs to be offshore, because what happens is the water is just moving about, and you get the.
I'd leave regardless at any shore. I don't know if you guys remember the other day too. There was a guy that was shooting at ICE agents. Pull out a gun. Apparently, the FBI released a photo of this guy. Oof! So they're getting closer and closer to tracking down this person. The other day, so
take a look at this video right here. It appears a protester fired some kind of gun at federal agents. This happened this afternoon. It was a really chaotic scene at the time. A lot of smoke.
Better run. Better run. They're getting closer and closer. That's some serious charges.
When you get the warning, even as an advisory, you want to, the danger is lowered, but it is not non-existent at this point. And so we want to keep everybody alert. And one of the things that we were talking about is that the reason that it is pretty isolated is because of the depth of the earthquake. It was only about 12 miles deep, so it isn't expected to impact the Pacific Island or the
Right.
Pacific Ocean much, or areas around southeast not expected to cross the Gulf of Alaska.
Yeah, I want to pull up this graphic for you just as an example to show you, again, so the earthquake happened here 50 miles south of Sand Point. The water, where the earthquake happened was 12 miles deep. So there's only 12 miles below the Earth's surface that this happened. So the water on top of that is impacted by the shaking, and that's what creates those waves. Imagine you throw a rock into a pond, and that's going to create that ripple effect that propagates all directions from it. You throw a small rock in a small pond, you're going to have smaller waves. You throw a big rock in a big pond, you're going to have bigger waves. That's just the reality of it. And how deep that earthquake is shows how much mass there was to move, how much earth there was to move to create that water to go up and down. So because it was 12 miles deep, after looking at how the water responded to that, scientists at the Tsunami Warning Center were able to say, yes, we've seen a wave, it's been generated, but fortunately it was small enough that it is not going to cause widespread inundation into these communities, something that we do always watch out for when we have an earthquake of this size in the area that's over the ocean. So also just want to point out it's the Pacific facing areas that do need to be at concern just of where that water is going to go.
Yeah, so when you see the map, it's sometimes a little confusing.
This was the old school Coca-Cola, I guess. The first publicly sold bottle of Coca-Cola contained cocaine. Delicious, refreshing. Atlanta. Home office Atlanta. Coca-Cola to dispense. What does that say? 1 ounce of Coca-Cola in 7-ounce glass. Wow. That must have been something back then, drinking that shit. Wilding out.
Your phone, you see the alerts going on your television, your radio, and you're not sure if it is for you. That's why we're here. We're here to let you know who needs to pay attention and who doesn't. So again, anyone on the Kenai Peninsula, Anchorage, you may have gotten the alert, doesn't matter. You are not at risk. And it's just because of how they send out those signals. That technology will get better. There will be a day, hopefully, that we even get a warning before the earthquake happens here in Alaska. But that time's not yet, not here yet. The fact that we get the warning on our phone, that's progress from how it was decades ago, but it still requires you to look at the information.
So I don't know, they're on it with the tsunami alert. I mean, I know flooding is different, but Texas, I guess, because it was late at night, but over here you get the play-by-play, how high the waves are, how deep the earthquake is, the strength of the earthquake, the levels and height of tsunami, what area it's targeting, how much. Oh, it's no worry. You can go back out and play, except these certain areas. Wow. Wow.
I turned to because my phone did not go off, and I turned to the person and I'm like, what is it? And she showed me tsunami warning, and I instantly knew that we had to get over here and jump on the air, because it is a frightening sound.
Scary.
And so when you don't know if it impacts you, it is quite scary. But we do have much more information now.
Yeah, and I do want to just mention, while we're here letting you know the current situation with the tsunami advisory and with the latest aftershocks, we have a team of reporters that are reaching out to all of the communities that are impacted there. If you have damage in your community, call the newsroom, let us know. But they've reached out to local officials. We've heard from Senator Sullivan that he's monitoring the situation very closely, along with a lot of local officials as well. So we will continue to bring that information as it comes in. If we hear of any damage, any impacts, any injuries from this, just from the earthquake itself, we will continue to bring you that information right here on Alaska's news source. But right now, the main concern, we got to get through this tsunami advisory. That's the main concern, is we, again, are not expecting a widespread inundating tsunami, not the big scary one that you may think of, but those local impacts can be sneaky sometimes. You might be wanting to go down to the beach and see what this wave looks like, and it comes in and gets you before you realize what's happening. So that's what we don't want to have happen. Just stay safe, stay off the beach, make sure that you're out of the harbor, and then once they tell us that the water's settled down, we'll let you know and we'll go right back to normal.
Right. Yeah, I think that the movies have depicted tsunamis as one giant wave that comes over, and that's not what this looks like. And in this case, from what we've been able to deduce, that the buoys haven't measured a huge wave. They have measured a tsunami. They have measured a change in that wave, a building of that wave. So just kind of be prepared for that. But it is not a huge wave, which is why it's an advisory. But also it is a series of waves. And it pushes through and it messes with the water and the environment and brings debris in where you're not expecting it to be. And that's always, that's where some of your risk.
Yeah, we weren't even expecting.
All right, so I guess that's what it is. Get a little tsunami warning. It seems like they've downgraded it. You know, there's going to be maybe some waves coming in, and they tell people to leave that area. There was a 7.3 earthquake, and there's now these little aftershocks. They're saying.
Well, this happened at 12:30. It's now been 2 hours, and I'm not seeing anything happening here in Kodiak. That wasn't expected to happen until about 2:40. So still waiting on those times. Again, here is when they were anticipating that first activity to begin in various communities. Sandpoint was first because you're the closest to the earthquake, only 50 miles from the epicenter. So that was expected to start around 1:30. Cold Bay 2:25, and then Kodiak at 2:40. So we're just beginning to see, again, potential impacts moving into those communities. The Tsunami Warning Center, they are watching, and it looks like it was just cleared. We just had the all clear.
There is no longer from our maps. Yes.
There is no longer a tsunami advisory or warning in effect. So the threat from a tsunami has just been cleared.
All right, that's good. That's good. So nothing really came out of that. All right. I think that's it for now. I've had a really productive day, so I've kind of just hopped on when I can. Productive outside of YouTube, I mean. So I just hopped on when I can, you know, just to check in, cover whatever's happening, and jump off. So nothing too crazy. The biggest thing, though, I see today, kind of, and it's the political stuff. It's the message that Trump put out. So I think maybe later we'll talk about that, because there's a bunch of other stuff, too. Maybe we'll talk about that later. We'll see, unless something else happens. New surveillance footage shows two masked gunmen jump out of a white car and open fire while chasing people on foot in Chicago. Oh my God. Jesus Christ. These people out in broad daylight, they don't care at Chicago. They don't care. Epstein fake, tsunami fake. They're saying pretty much Alaska's safe. It's canceled. So the tsunami warning, it doesn't seem like anything really happened. So besides the earthquake, of course. So good thing for those people, because we've had all these anomalies, weather anomalies, unless they're normal. Maybe they're normal. I don't know. Except the Texas one. This shit was so hilarious, though. I had to retweet that earlier. The Babylon Bee. Man who vowed to release Epstein files berates idiots for believing there are Epstein files. The Babylon Bee. Oh, shit. Yeah, man, the FBI's on to this guy. I'm gonna retweet this too. They're on to him. They're probably gonna catch. He's got to be facing some serious charges. FBI is releasing a new photo in order to identify the suspected protester who brandished the pistol. Unless he's here illegally and he's not documented, you know. But they're probably, I'm sure they're on to him. I wonder if they're offering a reward. Oh wait, look, yeah, $50,000 reward. Woo! You know, somebody's gonna snitch. $50K. Oh yeah. This was in Camarillo. This was where they did the bust, the weed house bust, the weed farm bust, where they found underage or juveniles there working, allegedly. And apparently they're saying Newsom had some ties. I don't know if he knew people, or I forgot what. I haven't even really looked into it. Some type of ties to the place, to the farm. Pot farm bust. And so this guy, I guess a protester, seen on video, just shooting, popping off, brandishing his gun like nothing. Like it's nothing, just to shoot in the air, shoot at people randomly through, like nothing. That's crazy. What if he hit somebody? What if he, not even just an ice person, but what if it was a regular pedestrian? What if he shot a kid or something? You know, what if he killed somebody? You know he's reckless. Somebody's brandishing a gun like that and just shooting aimlessly. Woof. He's got to be sweating bricks or shitting bricks. Sweating bullets. On TV for the helicopter to see. That's what these kids nowadays, everything's on Instagram or TikTok or on national TV. And then they post it after on social media. It's probably not gonna take too long before he's caught. Unless he's undocumented. You know, maybe if he's undocumented, he's not like in a record or something. Maybe he'll be able to slip. But I'm thinking for the 50K, somebody's gonna talk. For the 50K. There's a mass exodus happening right now. I feel like we should cover this shit. I feel like we should kind of later. We'll come back later. I'm collecting it. Maybe we'll have like an hour's worth or an hour and a half live stream later. I've been a loyal Trump supporter since 2016. I've lost a job, friendships, been smeared online, doxxed, and pressed charges on people who have stalked and harassed me for supporting him. If Trump doesn't want my support because I care about the Epstein files, then I'm done. Bye. I'm done. Attorney General Pam Bondi fires Maureen Comey from her job at the top DOJ Manhattan prosecutor. As the top DOJ Manhattan prosecutor, the daughter of James Comey, per Politico, she was responsible for prosecuting Jeffrey Epstein and Ghislaine Maxwell. Fired. Coca-Cola, but the biggest thing anyway, the Coca-Cola, sugar cane. Let's see the transformation. Sugarcane. We have to try it. Maybe I should order one. Should order a sugarcane Coca-Cola. It's probably not much different. Oh, it's different, man. It's the best. I drink it every day. Just from the earth and natural. Sugarcane Coca-Cola. Let's see. We can order that shit. Okay, they got some Coke de Mexico. They got one in a bottle here. I gotta order it through Amazon Fresh. Let's see what else they got. They got some other stuff. Boyland bottling pure cane sugar. Cola syrup. That look nasty. Margarita, man. Cola mix. All right, let's just get this one here. Mexican Coca-Cola. Mexico. Hecho en Mexico. Let's see the ingredients. Azúcar. It says sugar, but it doesn't say sugar cane. I don't know. There's a little caffeine in there too. Nothing compares. Did they change ice cream? Mexican diet. They have it under kosher. All right. All right. Can I order this? We're going to order one thing and then we'll put it in the fridge tomorrow. I want the Mexican Coke. Oh, it can come today. 2-hour delivery, $10 charge. I don't know. It's not that serious. I'll get it tomorrow. I don't need the Coca-Cola shit today. Why are they trying to monthly plan, annual? I don't want to plan. I just want to buy the Coke and that's it. Deliver this shit. Auto renew. I don't want to plan a monthly plan. You have to buy a monthly plan now to shop on Amazon?
the Annabelle doll that's supposed to be cursed.
Ah, yes. Well, I don't know. I forgot where I mentioned it. There's some guy that died. Jackie, did you see that? Some guy was showing a tour. I don't think I'm going to order this. I don't want to have to deal with all this nonsense. I got to sign up to a membership. There was a guy that was like giving a tour and he suddenly died at the Annabelle house. You heard about that? We're making America healthy again. We're switching out sugar, whatever sugar's in there. I don't know, fruit for the other sugar. Healthier choices, healthier options. All right. I'm getting the Mexican Coke, and I'm not messing with ChatGPT no more. I'm going with China. Fuck it. DeepSeek. Using the China. They can take all the information on the computer. All right. Anything else? Anything else until later?
On it. Why doesn't the View have any trans women on it?
Great point. It has a lot of women that look trans, but none of them. It has a lot of second and third takes. After a drink, you'd go, huh? But it doesn't have a ton of, yeah.
It's zero.
I agree. It should be all trans women.
Yeah, it's true. Where's the representation on there and the inclusivity and all that stuff? What's up with that? Okay, I guess that's it. I'll leave out on a cancel note. I guess that's it. Chipotle sells them? Okay. You gotta be careful with that Chipotle. Chipotle has like 1,000 calories in a little meal shit that you get for yourself. That thing is like for 2-3 people. I used to get Chipotle all the time. Be careful with that bowl, that rice bowl, and you get all the nice meat and the veggies and all, and the rice, all that stuff. That shit had like, how many calories? A bunch of calories, yeah. Think you're making a healthy choice. Be careful with that. Who knows how many carbs are in there, too. But the secret is, if you didn't know, if you're going to order Chipotle and you're going to get double meat, you order one first. Let them put the meat and on the bowl, right? Let it put it on, and then you say, "Oh, you know what? Actually, let me get a double," and then they add the appropriate amount. If you ask for a double right away,
I'm buying a Mexican Coke for you, Mel Hart.
Thank you. I appreciate that, Cynthia. I ordered it too. It's coming tomorrow. I'll have it tomorrow on stream. It's supposed to come in the morning. I'm gonna put them in the freezer. Well, not the freezer, I guess the fridge. We'll have a Mexican Coke tomorrow and see their difference. The pure sugar cane. It said azúcar though. They didn't really say sugar cane. I hope it's not like a fraud, like that Coca-Cola I bought. You know, sugar cane. I wonder what kind of Coke they have in Australia. What are they drinking theirs? Australian Coke. Now can they fix the air quality outside, right? Guess Lane, I hope she talks. I think she should talk. Oh wait, what was that? Oh no. Dang. You know when you see something interesting, you clicked away, it's like now it's gone. Damn it. Into the abyss. Were they live? Oh, there it is. Oh, never mind. That was 2 days ago. How many Cokes for 10? It said, I think I got like a pack of 6 or something. Let me see. A pack of 6. Oh, no, it's 4. That shit is deceptive as hell. It's a 4-pack. I just glanced at it, and because I saw the Coca-Cola next to it, like, let me show you. I thought it was 6, but apparently it's 4. Must be the high quality Coke. You get what you pay for. It's unique. I thought it was like a row, like 3 and 3. Apparently it's 2 and 2. Pizza bread? From where? Oh, Pizza Hut. I love pizza. Pizza Hut's good. Pizza Hut. Papa John's my favorite, but Pizza Hut is good. The crust is like oily. It tastes really good too. Got some really good pizzas there. I like Papa John's too, and then I also like some local places. Mom and pop. The national beverage. So big changes coming for America. Yeah, sugar cane. All right, Deborah. Every show now is an end of times broadcast. All right, that used to be a thing we would just do. It was like a thing, you know, once in a while. Literally, it's like every show now. Every time we're here, it's like some type of crazy. And I can't believe these people are out there still in Portland, Oregon. Federal police officers enraged anti-ICE agitators after using a Donald Trump impersonation voice to order officials to vacate. Let's see.
Let's leave this restricted area. Maybe Donald Trump?
Wait. Are the officials using that? Federal officers enraged anti-ICE agitators after using a Donald Trump impersonation voice. Wow.
This is the Federal Protective Service. The facility is closed and not open to the public. Stay out of the area of the driveway to allow for vehicular traffic. Remain on the sidewalk or across the street. Everyone must leave this restricted area and may be subject to detention or arrest for failing to depart the restricted area. Thank you.
What we gotta do is actually convince them to take their clothes off and just have an orgy. That's gonna get them to take their clothes off. Oh, that's what they do. Practical answer. Practical answer.
I don't think you're doing a good enough job.
I know they have your name in there. I see you get taken in there.
Crazy.
Stupid to get a job that actually helps people. Stupid to get Go fuck you.
That was funny, man. I can't believe they did that.
Let's leave this restricted area. This is the Federal Protective Service. The facility is closed and not open to the public. Stay out of the area.
I wonder what happened to that lady, the resident that was there. She said that was Antifa. I think she said she got attacked and stuff. She said it was Antifa that's out there. They're coming out every day. The only thing I can think of is they're getting paid or something. Who's going to be out there? They've been out there for like a month now or something. Every day, every night, they're coming out there, standing out there for hours and hours and hours. They got to be getting paid something. Oof. Alrighty, I'm gonna hop off for now. I'm gonna go head to the park for a little bit, baby girl. But I'll be around later if anything pops off. It's been kind of chill, and I've been enjoying it. It's been kind of like not so crazy so far. I mean, besides politics, kind of, not so crazy. But I'll catch you guys later. All right, peace. Bloop bloop bloop.